So as I'm staring outside my window, I'm looking at the sunflowers and I'm looking at the day as it begins. It's about 10:40 something right now. Just had my coffee. As you can see, the bed's a mess. Haven't made that yet. But well, first thing you need to do is make your bed. That's what I read somewhere, watch the video. Depends what kind of day you've had, or it doesn't, whatever happens, at least you come home and your bed is made. And when you finish one thing, it inspires you to do a lot of other little tiny things throughout the day. You get that sense of accomplishment. So I'm really not going to edit anything. I'm just going to shoot it like this. Um, Uncut, all real, just woken up, made some mac and cheese for my kid, forgot about it twice, um, turned on the stove, then I'm like, a la madre, holy shit, the water. And then I realized I didn't have it on the wrong, I had it on the wrong side of the stove. So I put it on the correct side of the stove where I had it on. Then I'm like, holy shit, the water. Forgot about it again. So mac and cheese is finally done. What I do add, just to give it a little bit extra flavor, is garlic salt and onion salt, pepper, and some cheese on top. Some grated cheese on top, or fresh parmesano. You can do that as well. So, getting back to the topic at hand. But what is the topic at hand? When you're going through a hard time in your life, like many of us are, through this whole pandemic and the riots that are going on in the streets, what else is 2020 going to bring us? It's hurricane season as well. So many tragedies. Life is but a whisper. It can end at any moment. But sitting here, drinking my coffee in my Batman cup and other cups that I have there on the windowsill, and just staring outside, taking in the day. Because when things happen, it hits you so hard. This year has been very trying for me and my family. Many families right now are going through such a hard time with family illness, then the pandemic, relationships, or maybe you're going through a breakup. I'm going through a breakup. And it's so hard, but I want to do this video to whomever is watching right now. Just real and uncut, unedited, just so you can see and hear for yourself that it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. Things aren't that bad. The first 3 days when something happens, and first week or two, it just seems like you can't really get a grip on things. Let me sit up a little bit. And let me switch my hand and let me go back. Because things happen, and more so, I think this might be a video for myself. So that I can look back and I can hear myself and tell myself that it's gonna be okay. Breathe, it'll be fine. You're gonna get up, you're gonna go through the motions, you're gonna grieve, especially if you're going through a breakup and you blame yourself and your self-worth just goes ooh, boom. It does. And you start questioning yourself. Well, if I would have been more like that, and if I would have smiled more, and if I would have been in a better attitude, and if I would have been, I think first of all, we need to accept ourselves. And for the longest time, I couldn't accept myself. I'm too overweight, or I have this, or I have that, or I'm not good looking enough, or I couldn't even look myself in the mirror sometimes. But once you start accepting yourself and you start accepting your age and your wisdom and everything that you've gone through, things start to get a little bit better. And you realize that, you know what? If that person can't see the person that I am and what I bring to the relationship, because you have to accept each other unconditionally. It's like the coronavirus. And what I tell people, if you tell me that I get the coronavirus, but I don't die, you take that element of death out of it, I don't mind being sick for 2 days. I mean, for 2 days, for 2 weeks. It's fine. I'll be sick for 2 weeks. But just take that element of death. And that's how a relationship is. Take that element of I'm going to quit or I'm going to leave when the going gets tough, because the going will get tough. Many, many times. It'll get so tough. But you can't guarantee anything though. So you just have to put your best foot forward. And when you're going through a breakup, or if you're in the middle of a breakup, I want to tell you this. You're going to breathe again. You're going to remember to be yourself again. And this video, the beginning of many videos, starts the healing process for myself and for whoever, if anyone, is going to listen to this. Just know that you're going to be yourself again. And one thing that I've done, and it's great power, and whenever that person has decided that, you know what, this relationship, it's just not for me right now, or I don't know what's going on, and you try to hold on to that person as much as you can, but the harder you hold on, it doesn't work. Let them go. Love freely. Let them go. Just walk away. Just say, okay, I love you. And if that's what your decision is, if they're married or if they're in a relationship, or you're in the relationship, if you're married and it's a long-term relationship, short-term relationship, just walk away. I bet you at any moment my kid's gonna walk in through that door and say, Daddy, something, something. I hear him stirring around in the kitchen. So I'll try to wrap it up. But yes, just walk away. Walk away. Go full no contact. Start your healing process. And think to yourself, there's no hope. Just try to move on. Try to disconnect yourself little by little from that person, because that's what they need. You're doing it for them and doing it for yourself. That's what they need. So, does no contact work? Yeah. It's worked for me. Isn't it crazy that let's put it this way. There's two people. And there's one that you're super into, but man, they're really not super into you. And the one that you're not super into, they get super into you. Like, you can't get rid of them, and you wonder why. Well, because you're ignoring that person. So put some self-worth on yourself. You're worth it. Okay? When something happens, I've lost, my gosh, you're gonna hear so many things that I've gone through and how great God is. And this isn't a video about God right now, but what He does in my life are just incredible things for me. For me. I'm not talking about anybody else in there, just for myself. So, anybody watching right now, you're going through a tough time, things will get better. Go through the motions. Grieve. But most importantly, and it's true, work on yourself. Lose weight. Go walking. Eat healthier. Organize your space in your home, because if your space in your home is organized, then your thoughts start getting uncluttered, and you have that space to just sit still with your thoughts and breathe. So, if you're watching this right now, I want to tell you that there's hope. I want to tell you that if you're going through a breakup, give that person that space that they need. And give that space to yourself as well. And I want to tell you that they'll come back. Why? Because they always come back. They do. It's like when I see a full moon and I'm like, at this moment, there's a woman out there conspiring in my demise. Full moon. You know? So, I'm a single dad with 2 boys in a very complicated life. But in that complication, I find a lot of beauty. And with each new day, it's a new beginning to be a better version of myself and to love those around me. So, I hope you stick around. And I wasn't even thinking about doing this, but it just occurred to me. Do it. Without the flair and the music and the videos and this and that, just real and uncut. And if you stick around for these almost 12 minutes, I hope it gives you hope. And I hope you can see it in my eyes. Things that I'm going through. But I have hope. And with each new day, I get better. And I learn to smile. Although when I do smile, I look like the Joker and look kind of crazy. But I'm learning to accept myself. And in this quarantine, I think that's very important that we can get something positive out of it. So, lots of love. Relax. Breathe. It'll be okay.